I will go ahead and get us started. I'm Wes. Among other things, I'm a dad who has been on this trip lots of times. I've sent at least four of my children on this trip as a dad. And so I'm not going to assume that if I'm uh, going on this trip that I'm going on with a bunch of veterans, though a few of you have sent kids before. I'm going to assume that this is a new trip. And as a dad, I needed to know all the answers to all the questions like where are we going to be? What's the schedule like? What do they need to bring? What do they don't need to bring? All that kind of stuff. We'll talk about some of those things. I've also gotten to see, as a dad, though, I've gotten to see some incredible life change. From my youngest, who is 15, to my oldest that is gone, who is 23. They have come back from the RGV trip with stories about what God has done and stories about what they were able to experience, and so I'm excited to see that part again this year. Last year wasn't able to go on this one, had some other things happening that I was leading here at the church. So this year I get to go, and we have a big group of leaders, and I'm super excited about this group as they're going because almost all of them are veterans, and not veterans like Veterans Day, Memorial Day, that kind of stuff, but people who've been before. Um, Sorry, I will apologize ahead of time if dad jokes escape my mouth. That is just part of who I am. I've been a dad for 26 years and I've been perfecting the art for at least 25 of those. All of my children roll their eyes. I still tell the jokes, so they are what they are. Let me introduce you to our
Same,
leaders.
same.
Do what? Say again. Let me introduce you to our leaders. These, make sure y'all can see that. This is our group that went last year. Your kids may be in this picture. If they went last year, they are in this picture. This year, our leaders are many, and I'm excited. Like I said, we've got some returning ones. Alicia is a parent and one of our regular Sanctus leaders. Trace has been many times. He hasn't been in the last few years, but he's our high school guys leader. Cassie, Brady's not going, but he's a whole lot of fun. Cassie's one of our high school girls leaders. Jeremiah has been many times, and he is now married. This is his wife, Megan, who will be going with us. Melody is one of our twins, but she is also our student ministry intern this year. And so she is going with us. And then her sister, Mercedes. If there's a question of whether or not they're twins, yes, at one time they were identical, but not as much anymore. Scott and Ashley, I had to steal their picture from Facebook, but they will be going with us. They are parents. They'll be helping. There's me. Sarah has been in years past as a student. This year, she's going to help us out in the kitchen and do some other behind the scenes kinds of things. And then Jimmy and Lizzie Villanueva will be going with us as well. So exciting group. This group has lots of experience as leaders, lots of experience. We have several that are parents, Lizzie, Jimmy, Scott and Ashley, obviously me. Um, so lots and lots of good things there. Let me jump right into kind of where we're going to be going. I am not going to read this to you. I'm just going to hit a couple of things that you need to know about. For this packing list, we will be doing three different work projects. One of them will be at a house that will be doing painting outside. So closed toe shoes, stuff that can get painted in. And I say get painted in because every year my experience has been that as much paint goes on the students as goes on the house. And I don't think it's drips. Many times there are brush marks. One year, a kid decided he was going to paint his hand, and there was a dog nearby, and he decided he wanted to do the white hand of Saruman on the dog. Um, that was not fun to explain, but we'll be talking about that. So, one of our projects will be painting. Another one of our projects will be working on a house where we'll be doing some insulation, some sheetrock, some different interior kinds of things. Jeremiah Joplin will be helping with that project. He is actually a contractor and has construction experience. Our students don't need to have that experience. We will give what they need there. We'll be partnering with Buckner International as our kind of our ministry team on this side. So both of those projects, and then we also have an additional project that will be building bunk beds, and so depending on how our numbers play out, we'll be doing those three projects, which is why we're saying grubby clothes for 3 days of work, and that'll be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Um, the other side of that is when we get back to the church, we'll be staying in a gym, we'll be sleeping on the floor. So I strongly encourage bedding. Well, they have to have bedding, but also an air mattress and or a cot, just because sleeping on the floor, at least for those of us who are north of 20 or older, is a must. I am not going to sleep on the floor. So some of those kinds of things, but one of the things will also be, because we'll be in a gym, we'll be doing volleyball and basketball and those kinds of things in addition to our worship time and some other things that we'll be doing. So we want to make sure that they have clothes that don't smell like the day that we've been going. There will be showers and all those kinds of things available as well. But you know, that's kind of where we want. Uh, I always put deodorant on the list and then put it on the list again and then put it on the list again. This time there's only one, partly because we aren't taking very many middle school boys, and partly because by now if I have to tell you to wear deodorant, I'm just going to go find the girliest smelling stuff there is and put it on the boys. So I'm not above that. I'm a dad of sons and a dad of daughters. They are going to be able to use their phones at various points. So if they want to bring a charger, I'd recommend it. Small backpacks, string backpack, that kind of thing. We'll talk about that why, but we'll be needing that for the beach. Uh, Sunscreen for sure. Uh, I asked when we put this list together, do people actually wear visors anymore? And I was assured that people do. I have yet to see it, so whatever that looks like. I do want to point out spending money for daily gas station stops. We will be stopping between Houston and Edinburgh on the way in. We'll also stop at a Stripes, usually at the end of the workday to get something to drink. Some people get other things. We will be having all the meals and stuff prepared and all that kind of good stuff. But if that's part of what your student needs, just be aware. I You could do a gift card, all kinds of different ways you can play this out. Just letting you know they'll be responsible for that. Nobody's going to be keeping track of how much they're spending or anything like that. So if they blow it all on the first day, you may be getting a call. Can you put money in my account? If that's your kid, I apologize ahead of time, that we'll be stopping every time. And then when we get to Thursday, part of the beach day, if those who want to, not everybody has to, but if they want to, they can do souvenir shopping, that kind of stuff. And so we say spending money for those kinds of things. And then items, optional items, snacks to share. They're teenagers. I've seen some of these guys. If one of your kids is a son, you know what it's like to feed these people. I don't understand where it all goes, but they want to eat like hobbits. They want second breakfast and elevensies and lunch and all the other things. Scott Bomar, I am looking at you, brother. Your son is like that for sure. So just saying that as we look at those things. Shower shoes, we're going to be in a gym. They'll have showers available, but we'll also be taking care of 40 plus people. So um, filter what of that you need to hear from that. Just a couple of things to point out, and this is going to just be for everybody. Leave the gaming systems and all that kind of stuff at home, jewelry and other valuables. I'm not expecting theft or anything. I just know that when you get a bunch of teenagers in a room, sometimes stuff just gets lost. I can't tell you how many socks I've come home with over the years that nobody wants to claim, but we also have other stuff that shows up, and so just want to make sure that you're aware of those things. And then I do want to point out alcohol, vapes, illegal substances, all that kind of stuff. Uh, we've had some issues in the past, and so there have been reasons to do bag checks. Uh, I'm going to just say it this way. I'm going to give everybody one last chance when we do our parent get together just briefly on Sunday. If there's anything in your bag that doesn't need to be in your bag, go take care of it now. I would rather not have to do anything past that. And it's happened in the past. I'm not expecting it with this group, but I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. Beach day. Go ahead. Is there a question? Nope. Okay. Um, they do need a drawstring backpack, beach and towel, beachwear and towel, sunscreen, that kind of stuff. Water bottle, plastic bag for wet items, spending money, that kind of stuff. Do want to point out one thing on beachwear. Ladies, no two pieces. Guys, no Speedos. Um, just is what it is. We've actually had to say no Speedos. Heather, can you believe that? We've had to say no Speedos. So, because one guy did, it was not okay. So, let me do this real quickly. Questions so far. Heather's like, what? Really? Yes, really. Questions so far. All right. I'm going to talk fast. So, I've been around middle school girls a lot recently, and so my vocabulary speed has picked up. So, if I am talking too fast, slow me down, ask your questions. All right. Let's talk schedule real quickly, and then we'll make sure we answer any other questions. So we are going to leave. I'll give you all the Sunday details in just a minute. Uh, this one thing I want you to see is pretty normal. Lights out at midnight. Some of them go to sleep sooner than that. Um, some of them have to be reminded that they have to get up at the armpit of dawn. So uh, this is going to be our regular schedule Monday through Wednesday, breakfast and a morning session, and then we'll leave. It's about 25 minutes away from where we are. We'll be working on those projects lunch. We'll continue work projects there. And then after that, we're going to get to have some time with the kids in the area, doing some water games and some fun things. Uh, Partly to build relationship and then throughout the week be able to share life, to share the gospel, to do some different pieces there. And so excited about those things. We'll get back to the church. We'll have dinner there. Um, our evening sessions. We'll be talking this year in our worship time and in our session time. We'll be talking about knowing the heart of God. What is God like? And so we'll be pulling from Exodus and God's conversation with Moses and Moses' conversation with God. Show me your glory. Show me what you're like. And so the goal for all of this isn't just to put our students where they're serving, but also to build up and encourage their faith. And so we're going to really dig into, well, who is God and how do I know him? And how do I love him more as I get to know him better? So really excited about how we're going to get to play in that. And then Thursday will be a little bit different. We'll get up a little bit later. We're going to head to Padre after we get everything cleaned up. Um, We'll have lunch on the road. Then we'll get to the beach and the pool, and we'll have adults around for all of this. It'll be a little bit different than maybe it's been in the past. We're going to go straight. We're going to get to the hotel. We're not going to take out luggage or anything like that, which is why we want our students to have the drawstring backpack or beach bag or whatever they're going to take that's just the beach stuff. And then we'll come back to later and unload the vans and go up to the hotel rooms and all of those kinds of things. And so we'll be staying at La Copa Inn. It is a place we've stayed for many years. Right now, it looks like with the numbers that we have, it'll be 4 to 5 people to a room. We'll have adults included in those conversations as well. After we do all the fun stuff, we'll come back, uh, be in the rooms, lights out, all that kind of stuff. Hit the road a little bit later. We'll eat lunch at Whataburger on the way, and then we'll be back as close to 6 o'clock as we can. So encourage you to check through those things. Here's what I think you need to know for Sunday. Bring your luggage Sunday morning. We will start worship at 10 o'clock. We'll have a place for everybody's worship, well, that too, but everybody's luggage. At the end of the service, we're going to have a prayer time over all of our students and leaders before they go. We'll also be making a very special announcement, so I want you to be there for that. Lunch on your own. I recommend Whataburger. It's fairly close. I'll be preaching on Sunday, so if you're one of our TSF folks, you know we'll be getting done a little bit earlier than usual, and that's not a knock on Pastor Joe. I don't have as much to say usually. So we'll have time for lunch. We'll get back. We're going to check everybody in, make sure everybody's good to go, answer any last minute questions. This quick meeting will also be if you have prescription medications to turn those in with any instructions. If the medical form hasn't been turned in, which looking at the list so far and looking at who's here, I have seen your medical forms. If there's anything I need to know about specifically, I'm going to give you my number at the end of all of this, and we can talk about those things, or you can email me directly. So either of those are available. We're going to load up as close to 12:25 as we can. If it goes the way I want it to go, we will be on the road before 1 o'clock. If it goes the way I expect it to go, we'll be on the road by 1 o'clock. Uh, and that is a worst case scenario in my mind, simply because I hate driving. So the sooner we can get on the road, the sooner we can get done. All right. These numbers, if you need them, That's my cell number, and that's Melody Juarez. Uh, the other leaders will have their phones as well. These are going to be the easiest ways to get a hold of anybody quickly. Um, like I said, your students can have their phones if there's an emergency on your end or our end. It's not like anybody's going to be holding on to their phones. There will be a time where during the worship time, we're going to ask students to not have their devices on them, but maybe under their chairs. Other than that, we're really just going three big things we want our students to experience this year, and that is serving Jesus together, learning more about their faith and growing in their faith, and then having an experience with other people trying to do the same thing. So that's it as far as the trip. I'm sure there are questions. If I can answer any of those, let me know. Um, but wanted to make sure I was able to touch base with you and share any important details. Like I said, I'm really excited about this trip. I love this trip. We have gone on this trip over 15 years as a church, and I'm excited to get to continue that tradition. Uh, so that's pretty much it. Can you post? Yes, I can. There we go. What other questions? Y'all go ahead and chime in.
Will those slides be sent to us, Wes?
I'm actually, as soon as we get done, I've been recording this. Once we get done, I will get it rendered so that I can get it over into YouTube, and then I will post the link to YouTube tomorrow morning when I come into the
Okay.
office.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All of the information that I've given you is also in the email that came from me that has the itinerary and the packing list. The only thing that's different in the slides is the leaders, and I think even my phone numbers are on the stuff from that. If you didn't get those things, let me know, and I can make sure that you see those as well. All right. What else? Okay.
Where do we get the, I'm sorry, where do we get the prescription?